What's up guys, this is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we are looking at the TRANSMETAL Cheetor figure. It's actually a fairly good figure despite the somewhat awkward proportions, thick chest, little tiny legs, but it's still pretty good. Face isn't quite right, but I can see where they were going with it, so I'll let it slide because it looks pretty good everywhere else. Stop chewing on that, cat. It would be fitting that my cat started chewing on stuff now that I'm reviewing Cheetor. Stop it. Anyway, this figure stands about 5.5 inches tall to the top of his head. Head articulation is a swivel, but you can move it up and down a little bit. It does kind of suck that there is a cavity right there, but what are you going to do? It had to be there for the transformation. He has a ball peg for the shoulder, a ball peg for... Stop it. And a ball peg for the elbow. He does have a waist swivel, so that's nice. Ball peg for the hip. Standard joint for the knee, about 90 degrees. We do have a reverse joint here. And then we have pretty good ankle articulation. So, like I said, at first glance it looks a little awkward, but he has pretty good design all together. And then we have this nice shading and paint job for the cheetah spots throughout, and we have some vacuum chrome gold to look at as well. He can hold his tail as he does in the show, not quite as often as having it as a figure makes it seem, but he can do that, so that's pretty cool. And in the show he can put his hands together to shoot out of the cheetah mouth. You can't really do that without cheating a little bit, but you can do it technically. I wouldn't necessarily recommend this for a display, but you can put his hands together in front of his chest, if I can do it like that, and he can technically do the pose, but it doesn't look right, so I wouldn't recommend that. So let me get him transformed. I do like the robot mode a lot on this guy, so I'll get him transformed and I'll show you the alt mode, the beast mode. Okay, we have him transformed, and as you can see, it looks like they might have actually placed a little bit of priority on his beast mode because it looks really good. There's not a whole lot to do in transforming this guy. His arms that were folded behind his back are now his front arms, and then his legs are still his legs. His regular arms are just tucked in and turned into his head. I don't know why that's not staying up. I don't think it actually snaps into place, but it's not so bad. But it looks just like it does in the show, so they did a really good job, and now we have a lot of gold showing. It's a really nice piece, and this is one that I would actually consider maybe displaying in beast mode just because they did such a good job with it. They all do have their names on them. I don't think that was like that in the show, but all the TRANSMETAL figures do. And a cool thing about the TRANSMETALs is they all have some sort of transportation mode. So what you can do for Cheetor is turn his tail around, and you do that, and then you flip open these things right here. And this did happen in the show, and there's his little Maximal logo, although there was not a head and a hollow gap in there, so that kind of sucks, having that gap there. But it's cool that they incorporated this design, and he's got his little thruster things. I can't get that one to come out. There we go. So they included that. That's nice. I appreciate that. You can move the legs around if you want to, of course. But there it is, guys. So there's the beast mode. Definitely a really solid figure, especially for the time it came out. I mean, they were working with minimal action figure technology at the time, and to get these Transformers that not so long before were just cars that basically had arms and legs, I think they did a really good job with this Beast Wars line, and this figure is a good example. It's not perfect, but it's pretty darn good. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.